So after years of trying to lose weight, I have finally lost 50 pounds. And I just want to talk to you today about how I got the weight off and how I plan on losing my next 25 pounds. In this video, I want to talk to you about how I lost the weight, what worked, what didn't work, did I track calories, what was my why, did I exercise, and what finally worked to help me lose the weight. So what was my mindset a year ago? I'm almost at a year. I started this diet July 14th, 2024. What was my mindset? Last year was much different. I was a much different size. I was 50 pounds heavier. I had a very negative kind of mindset. I was going into summer and I had just recovered from knee surgery. I had actually gained some weight through that. And it was bathing suit season. I have a pool and I swim every day. And I was just very uncomfortable. I wore swim shorts and kind of one of those long sleeve, rash guard things. And I still looked terrible. It was just really, I was very uncomfortable. Not just in the pool, but my clothes were very tight. I just was extremely uncomfortable. So when I was going through my, not just the knee surgery, but the year and a half that led up to the knee surgery, I was in so much pain. I was not walking. When I did walk, I used a walker. It felt like a knife was going up through my kneecap. I was just extremely depressed. I couldn't seem to find a doctor that would even do an MRI of my knee. I had doctors that were telling me become a vegetarian and it's a pulled muscle and this and that. And so by the time I actually found out what was wrong with my knee, I needed total knee replacement, and I had over 20 things that were wrong with my knee, and some of them were extremely severe. I was just so irritated with the doctors that I had, but something kind of started burning inside of me, and I had gained some extra weight. I was feeling very uncomfortable. I was in a lot of pain, but I started to think, if I can get through this, if I can get to a point where I can get to the other side of this pain and start walking and getting back to my old self, I am going to do it, no matter what it takes. So right there, my mindset started changing. I started thinking of the time after I was going to be out of pain from this knee. And I thought, they x-rayed and they MRI'd my other knee just to make sure that it wasn't as bad as the right knee. And it was fine. My left knee was fine. I had actually injured my knee in a fall, my right knee. So I had actually hurt the patella and just done all kinds of damage. But my left knee was okay. And I thought, I don't have bone on that knee. I don't really have any real arthritis in my left knee. How can I keep it in good shape? Because I don't ever want to go through this again. It was horrific. So my mindset started to change, and I started to think, okay, I need to start to exercise more. I need to lose this weight. This is the main thing. If I start losing weight and I get to a point where I can move more, exercise more, I think I'm going to feel better. Overall, I'm going to feel a lot better. Now, I have some pretty severe arthritis. I actually do use a walker if I have to walk any distance or anything like that. I have, I won't get into all that. But anyway, I thought maybe this losing weight and exercising and moving around will help me. And I have to say it has helped a little, but I'll be honest, the arthritis is still there. I still have a lot of pain, but I have zero pain in my knee. And I move around as much as I possibly can. I manage a big garden. I have almost an acre of land here on my property. And so I'm always thinking of ways to move and what I'm putting in my mouth as far as food. So the first thing I think that you really have to think about when you're trying to lose weight is your mindset. I think you have to figure out, what is your why? Why do you want to lose weight? Why is it important to you? Do you feel bad? Do you look bad? Or do you have no self-confidence? What is your why? I figured out mine during that whole knee fiasco, and in a way, it was kind of a blessing. Now I have this amazing new knee that I can do almost anything on. And I just feel like my life's opened up. Everything's kind of changed for me. And it all started with my mindset. I think the second thing that happened during that time while my mindset was kind of starting to change is I started setting small goals. So I started my diet in July of 2024. My first goal was like 10 pounds. I wanted to lose 10 pounds, I think by the 1st of October. And then I thought, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds by Christmas. I want to lose 50 pounds, and then all of a sudden I had the goal of losing 60 pounds by June 30th, 2025. So I kept setting like 10, 15 pound increments along the way. And if you look at some of my prior videos, you'll see all my little challenges because I made videos of them. And I thought, it's very motivating, this whole YouTube experience, because so many other people are losing weight too. So I get comments, oh, I lost 15 pounds. Oh, I'm down 20 pounds. Oh, So it's like, I feel like we're kind of encouraging each other. So I'm really enjoying the YouTube. But I think the goals are extremely important. And if you can set small goals, I had a big goal in front of me. My goal, initially, I thought I probably wanted to lose about 100 pounds. And after kind of re-examining everything and my age, I may go more than 75, but 75 is kind of the number that I'm shooting for. Maybe 80. I don't know. I'm going to have to see how this goes along the way. I'm a little bit older. I'll be 66 this year. I don't know that I want to get really thin. I saw that happen to my grandfather, and he just had no real reserves when he got sick. And anyway, a lot of things in my mind. I'm going to see how I feel and see how I look along this journey. And if I'm okay with where I am at 75 pounds, I'm going to stop there and work on maintaining it. So I think the second most important thing is setting small, obtainable goals. The third thing is you have to start some kind of a diet program, whether it be counting calories, whether it be, the diet I'm doing like Trim Healthy Mama, there's Weight Watchers. There's a lot of people have great success on Weight Watchers. And then, there's all kinds of things that you can do. And when I started this journey, I didn't actually start my journey with Trim Healthy Mama. I actually started it with the Mediterranean diet. I bought the books for the Mediterranean diet. I bought all kinds of cookbooks, and I thought this is going to be the diet for longevity. I think this is going to work for me. But what happened is that in the past, I've always had a lot of trouble with indigestion, and I mainly get it at night, like after around 6 o'clock. And, there was a time I was going through like a box of Alka-Seltzers like every 2 weeks. And so when I went on the Mediterranean diet, I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the olive oils. I don't really know what it was, but it didn't settle with me. I had a lot of problems with indigestion. And so I tried it about a month and I stopped the diet. And I thought, okay, I got to find something else because I've got to deal with this indigestion. I can't have this problem every single night of the week. It's too much. So I started researching the Trim Healthy Mama, and I also thought about some intermittent fasting. So I do the Trim Healthy Mama program, but I also try to set it up so that I'm not eating any large meals after 3 o'clock. Now I do have a snack at night. I usually have a Ninja Creamy, but it's Trim Healthy Mama approved. They actually have different Trim Healthy Mama recipes you can get on their website that are free for the Ninja Creamy, and that worked for me. All of a sudden, I went on this diet. Even before I started losing weight, I think having the cutoff of my main meal around 3 o'clock, my indigestion went away. I've probably taken 1 Alka-Seltzer in the last year. That is like a first for me. I think part of it's the weight loss, but I honestly think part of it is not eating a main meal like at 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I just don't think it's good to have all that later in the day when you're kind of, bringing your activity level down. Whatever it is, it worked for me. And I kind of embraced this Trim Healthy Mama program. If you've never heard about it, I've got cookbooks, and I've got the starter program on it down in my description below. And for me, it worked. It was complicated to kind of go through it and figure it out. I'll be honest with you, it really was. But I made it simple. I thought, I'm not going to worry about all the other things with Trim Healthy Mama as far as crossover meals and fuel pulls and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to focus on the S meals and the E meals. The S meals are satisfying meals that have more fat in them. The E meals are, really delicious meals that give you energy that have more carbohydrates. So the difference is you have a higher carb and a lower fat in one, and then the opposite with the other for a meal. And you have to eat like 3 hours apart. And supposedly your body digests the carbs and the fats differently. And for me, it's worked. And on top of it, I really like the meal plans. I like the recipes. I've recently bought a second cookbook. I had the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook. I recently bought, this is the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook right here. And this is the one that I've been using for the last year. Tons of really good recipes in that, and tons of recipes in the starter book. But recently, just this last week, I got this book called Trim Healthy Table. And I've started going through this. I mean, there's a lot of recipes. There's a lot of recipes in this cookbook, and there's everything from main meals to soup to Mexican food to lasagnas and smoothies and, fish. Whatever it is that you like, you can have it on Trim Healthy Mama. You just have to really work on finding the recipes that, are in the S and the E categories. Now, when I lose my weight, they have kind of a maintenance program, and you can add additional things into your program. Right now, I'm really being pretty strict because my goal is now to have the rest of all my weight off by next Christmas, 2025. So wish me luck. I'm on my way, and I hope any of you that are dieting and going through this process, you'll share your experiences and what's working for you in the comments, because I think we all really support each other. So this was the program that really worked for me. It just clicked for some reason. But there's all kinds of other programs. You don't have to do Trim Healthy Mama. There's all kinds of things that will work. So investigate, find out what works for you, whatever the food is that you really like. I think food has to be enjoyable to lose weight. I don't think you can just eat cabbage soup and celery for a year or two and lose weight. It's just not motivating enough to stay on it. That would be my third thing, would be really finding a program that works for you. So do I count calories? Did I take GLP-1 drugs? No. Now, I know that calorie counting works for some people, and I've done calorie counting in the past. I think the problem that I have with it is oftentimes it's calories that really aren't good for you that people are focusing on. It's like, well, I can have this and this and this, and I don't want to figure out calories to eat cake during the day and nothing else. My other goal, along with trying to lose the weight, was getting more healthy. As I go into my last stage of years, no matter how long I live, I want to live healthy. I want to be able to do things with my family and my friends. And I don't want to be tied down because I'm overweight and not able to move and, depressed or whatever those things are that come along with it. So I chose not to do the GLP-1 drugs. My husband, he recently retired, but he was a pharmaceutical rep. There's been a lot of talk in the pharmaceutical community among doctors and reps and different things I've heard through the years that these drugs have not been tested for weight loss long enough to really see any long-term side effects. Now, I know people are having success. I know doctors are prescribing them. They're prescribing them very generously, and I think whatever works for you, you just have to find out what works and do that. For me, I wanted to see if I could lose the weight without doing any drugs, and I really didn't want to focus on calories or points. I just wanted to be able to kind of follow a healthy way of eating and implement that into my life. Do I track my food? Yes, I do. I actually use something, I actually just printed this off the internet. I got it off of, I think it was Google Images, and they have hundreds of them. And it's just a meal planner. I put down my meals for the whole week. It helps me because I can pick up things that I need for those meals through a grocery list. I leave this on my refrigerator every week, and all of my meals I get from the Trim Healthy Mama, either their cookbooks or those wisdom recipes that I get online. Those are just absolutely amazing. I just love having all those different recipes that are posted on there. The thing I like about the wisdom recipes, if you go to trimhealthymama.com, you go to their store, go to their website, go down where it says wisdom recipes, there are so many great recipes. And a lot of things that they have put in place are bowls and smoothies and things that working people or busy people could prep ahead and at night come home from work, throw a bowl together. It's really healthy. It's really delicious. Boom, it's done. So I'm trying to implement some of those things, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really having a good time with it. So tracking works, whether you have an app on your phone that helps you track your food via calories, if you're doing Trim Healthy Mama, if you're using a meal planner, whatever it is that you use, I do think tracking helps a lot. You really can kind of see, oh, okay, this really isn't on plan, or oh, I'm way over my calories today. Whatever the thing is, definitely you should be tracking your food somehow. And lastly, why did this program work when so many others have failed? I don't think I've ever lost 50 pounds in my life. I never have. And even to keep going, I know I'm going to have my 75 pounds off by the end of Christmas. I know that I will, because this really isn't a diet. It's more of a change of life, and it's a change of eating. It's a change of eating habits. I'm not focused on a short-term goal. I do have short-term goals as far as losing weight, but my long-term goal is really changing everything about how I eat, how I exercise, all those different things. And I do exercise now. I walk, I play with the grandkids, I swim all summer. I have a rebounder that I use. I have all kinds of things. This summer, I'm actually investing in a set of weights that I could use in the pool. So along with swimming, I can do some water aerobics. I think that will be really helpful for me. And so that's my goal. I mean, I feel like the reason this has worked is because I found a program that worked for me, and I made it more of a lifestyle change instead of just a diet. I plan on doing this for the rest of my life. I don't think this is something that, when you focus on losing weight, when you have a goal in mind and then you go off the diet, I think so many people gain their weight back. But I think if you look at it more as a long-term change in your lifestyle and ways that you're going to implement this 2 years later, 5 years later, that's how you're going to maintain your weight. So anyway, those are my takeaways. I hope that all of this helped you. If you're looking to start a program and you're not quite sure what to do, research it. There's so many great videos out there of success stories of people that have lost weight. Mine is just one of them. I'm a little bit older. I'm not 25. I'm not 30. It's definitely been a little bit harder, I think, but in many ways it hasn't been hard at all. I love the food on the program, and it's just fit into my lifestyle. So I'm going to continue to lose weight. My short-term goal was to lose 60 pounds by the end of June. I mean, we're almost in June, so I'm not sure I'm going to hit that number, but I am going to hit my number by the end of December. So Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, please consider subscribing. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody.